Yeah, took a picture that I sent you.
Is this an art project?
Yeah, exactly. It's no fire though. You couldn't work on it at all. It's no fire. It's trash.
Man, that's just gonna give people more reason
To not look at it.
to listen to it.
You have to have a fire out.
That is fire.
Bell rung yet?
Winston, where were you first period?
I thought you knew it. I
Did
finished
you really
biking.
feel it?
I didn't like. I thought you were.
Can we do 8?
Sure. Hey, Bailey, we have to. I mean, this is crazy. I have like a quiz and a test has been sitting up here for like 2 weeks. It's not Bailey's fault. Man. Who's absent? No one. We're all here. What do you know? Well, I think the bell should have rung by now, right? Seems like it's been a long time.
I don't know.
All right, here we go. So, had a request to do number 8. Now, number 8, I knew this was going to be an issue. This table, I'm just going to say nearly every single one where you learn a skill, this book likes to throw in a table. And so the first, like, maybe 3 parts, there it is. First 3 parts of the table are easy, and then the other ones are hard. So I'm going to assume that on number 8, you had no problem if they told you the number of sides of the polygon. Yes? You can find the sum of an exterior or interior angle, no big deal. So I'm going to assume that the problem was when they didn't tell you the number of sides. In fact, that's what you were asked to find. So this is, and it's not a numbered part of number 8, but they tell you that the measure of one measure of each external angle. The measure of one external angle is 6. And so the other 2 parts are left off. The 2 parts that are left off are number of sides, and the measurement of one internal angle. So we're trying to fill in this box and this box. We're given that the sum of the, I shouldn't say the sum, the measure of one external angle is 6. All right. So here's how this is done. So step number 1, it doesn't matter which one you start with, is we think about the external angle. So this is not the, we know the sum of all external angles of any polygon is 360, right? So the formula for one of those would be 360 divided by n, and that equals, well, this answer right here. Well, we already told the answer is 6. So how many variables are here right now? 1, and it's n, and that would be the answer for this right here. So we simply solve this for n. All right, now you got to pull out your algebra skills. I need to get n by itself. The problem is n is on a fraction, it's on the bottom. Do you remember the trick, or were you shown the trick, or do you just want to solve it algebraically? I'm going to show you how to solve it algebraically, then we'll talk about the trick. So I'm going to write it again, and then I'll show you the trick. So 360 over n equals 6. The algebraic method would be to multiply both sides by the denominator. Why? Because the variable is in the denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by n. What happens to the n's? Cancel, and you're left with 360 equals 6n. Divide both sides by, and we get the answer is there are 60 sides. All right. What's the trick? Whenever the variable is on the bottom, what could you always do? Flip it. The trick is you would take this and you would flip it, and then it's nice and pretty. And you're like, well, that didn't seem that bad either, so I'm just going to claim that the trick doesn't really save that much time. It's still the same number of steps if you include the flip. Okay. All right, so we're halfway there. We now know there's 60 sides. We could use the formula, remember the other formula was n minus 2 times 180 all over n to find that one right there. So just plug in 60, big number, grab your calculator, and whatever the answer is, the answer. Okay? The same process would work, so there's two of them like that. And then the last one that might have given you some problems is it looks like this. Instead of being told that you have the one of your external, you have one of your internal. And this time I'm just going to pick one at random. The last one is 178. Okay? So what do? You take this formula, you set it equal to 178, and you solve for n. Okay, this was a little bit uglier. We still have n in the bottom, so guess what our first step should be? Times each side by n. So we put an n there, we put an n there. What happens to the n's here?
Cancel.
Distributive property, 180n minus 360 equals 178n. Can you solve that? Could you solve that? All right. Subtract 178 from both sides, and you get?
1 minus 360.
Equals 0, right? 360 the other side, divide by 2, and you get? Got 180 sides. Good Lord, that's a big polygon. 180 sides. And then the other one is you plug that into what? 360 over n. Well, if n is 180, you get 360 over 180, which is 2. Okay. All right, that's number 8. You will come to not like the tables. It's pretty universally, kids are like, those require, and it's because it requires some thinking. Anyone else? Okay, I'm gonna do something different today. It's not different, I will do this throughout the year. We occasionally get to a point where the teacher, that would be me, feels that, man, if I don't do a break and review, I'm gonna lose everyone, right? We're at that point right now. If you remember right, we had external angle, or the triangle external angle theorem, and then we had the stuff about polygons, and boy, can this get a little bit confusing, those two concepts put together. So we're going to take, in Army terms, we would say we're going to take a tactical pause. So you're in the midst of a battle, right? And if you have that ability sometimes to stop, regroup yourselves, collect your thoughts, then you do what's called a tactical pause. So if we take a pause in the action, we do a bunch of review. That's what we're going to do for the next 2 days. We're going to review on one day, that's today, we're going to review on the triangle external angle theorem. And then tomorrow we'll review on this stuff right here. We're going to make sure this stuff is so locked in your head that there is no questions. We know what we're doing. Oh, and the other thing we're going to review is the all the angle pairs, external angle, or alternate interior, corresponding, alternate exterior, same side interior. We're gonna make sure that stuff is completely and totally locked in your brain, and then we'll move on to the end. So there's only one more section left of the chapter 3.6. It is strange and weird. It has nothing to do with what we're doing right now, right? And it's a good time to do a pause. So all I'm gonna do right now is simply collect the homework. And my claim is after the next 2 days that you guys are going to be experts on this. Yeah. We'll see. Sorry for making you work, Chris. You get a car. You get a car. You get a car. Matt, you don't get a car. You get a Hot Wheels car. All right. So I'm going to scare you today. And when I hand you this packet for homework, you're going to freak out. Do not freak out. But it is a rather, it's over there. It's a rather large packet, and it's because it's geometry. Geometry packets are always large because I got to draw shapes. So the shapes take up a lot of space. So don't panic, but both days packets are going to be, I don't know, 5, 8 pages long, that sort of thing, because I got to draw a picture for every single problem. So I'm going to hand you the worksheet in about, I don't know, we'll review for however long it takes to do 5 problems. 5 problems. All right, so here we go. So now is the time that you're really like, okay, you said review, that means I don't need to pay attention. No, now's the time you really pay attention, right? I'm giving you a chance of seeing the material a second time. By the way, we'll still do a review at end of the, oh, let's look at the calendar again. We'll still do a review on Thursday for the entire chapter. But I'm going to claim that these 2 reviews, you're going to be ready for the test like by tomorrow. Type thing. Other than this thing I got to show you, there's a couple questions on the test on 3.6. But everything I'm going to do today and tomorrow is pretty much the entire chapter with the exception of 3.6. Okay, so here we go. Let's review what we've learned. Remember, we started out this chapter with this basic construction right here. Remember it? Our old friend right here. I remember H is going to be parallel to K, cut by transversal T. We got a whole bunch of different angles. Chandler, give me one of the angles that formed here. Any names? Same side interior angles. Seth, what do we know about same side interior angles?
Same side interior angles add up to 180.
Add up to 180. Chris, give me any other name.
2.8.
2.8 or what? They are, well, are they on the inside or the outside? So they must be external, or exterior, sorry. Exterior what? They're same side exterior. We got nothing for them. And we want to take a guess. We didn't prove it. We could prove it. Same side exterior angles. Take a guess.
Out of 180.
They're supplementary as well, too. We did not prove that. You can't use that, but that is true. Go ahead, Wes. Give me something else.
6 and 3 alternate interior.
Oh, he's even answering my question. All right, so 6 and 3 are alternate interior angles. What do we know about them, Bailey? Alternate interior angles? What do we know about alternate interior angles? Okay, so we finally reached a point where I've had at least one of you say, okay, I don't know. So your job between now and tomorrow is that can't be an answer. These are the easy ones. So my claim is that between what you already know and what today's review, this should not be a pause. Oh, by the way, we're not doing anything other than just naming angles and saying what's the deal about them. We haven't done any work. Bailey, what's the answer now? They are? They're clearly non-adjacent. What else about them? Say that one more time. They are on opposite sides of the transversal, hence the term alternate. What else? It's the most important one. The other ones just simply describe why they're called alternate interior. They're not adjacent, they're on opposite sides. It's that they are congruent to each other. That's the big so what about alternate interior angles. 3 is the same as 6, 4 is the same as 5. All right, we left off 1, am I? Which one did we leave off for this construction? Same side exterior. We said that just a second ago with Chris. Corresponding. What's the big so what about corresponding? It's not. It's the first one. It's the one that we had the postulate on. That's what describes them, but what's the so what? Okay, great. They're corresponding. So what? They are congruent. They have the same measurements. Okay? So we have alternate interior. They're congruent. We have corresponding. They're congruent. We have same side interior. They're supplementary. Okay? We also have our ones that we have from previous chapters. Give me one from a previous chapter up here. And there's 2 of them from previous chapter. Vertical angles are always congruent. And Madison, what's the last one we have from a previous chapter that we could use for this? We got the 3 from this chapter, corresponding, alternate interior, and same side interior. And then we have vertical angles from chapter 2. We also get another one from chapter 1. 1 and 2 are Y. They make a straight line, they add up to 180. So those are the 5 that we get from this construction. Those are the 5 we get from this construction. So here we go. You guys did pretty good. This is the one that says corresponding angles are congruent, right? This is the one that says that alternate interior angles are congruent, theorem 3-2. This is the one that says that same side interior angles are supplementary. This is the one that we didn't mention because it just is the one that sticks with them. If this one is 90, what's this one? What's this one? What's this one? What are all of them if one of them is 90? They're always 90, right? If the line is perpendicular to one, it's perpendicular to the other. Well, the consequence of that is that all 8 angles, if one of them is 90, all 8 angles are 90. We get that because of corresponding and vertical and linear pair, 2 angles that make a line, okay? All of that applies. So those are the 1 postulate and 3 theorems. And just so you remember, on today's sheet right here, we're lazy, we don't want to draw the parallel symbols. So we go away from this to putting little diamonds on the lines itself. Now, this particular worksheet program that I use actually does put the arrows on the end of the line, so you will see arrows. Our book does not from now on. You will not see arrows on the end of lines. They do that so you won't confuse them with the diamonds or the triangles there that show the 2 lines are parallel. Remember, we got a bunch of lines. They may have 2 little triangles there to show that differentiate between the 1 and the 2. Okay. All right. This question about all of these relationships can be asked 3 ways. Now, our brains are definitely on. We're finally getting to, hey, what's the test question going to look like? Here we go. This is what the test question. It can come of one of 3 flavors. Here's the easiest one, the vanilla flavor. The vanilla flavor, well, here are all 3 of them. The vanilla flavor is going to say, find the value of the angle if I give you just numbers. There's no variables involved. There's just numbers. Okay? So here's how it looks like. This is flavor number 1. You'll be given our classic picture. Notice it's saying that this line is parallel to this line because I got 2 triangles, right? You're given 1, and there's a question mark. Step number 1 is you got to tell me, are they corresponding? Are they alternate interior? Are they same side interior? Chandler, which one are they? There's only 3 out. Oh, and the other ones from the previous one, they're vertical or they're supplementary because they form a straight line. So one of those 5 possibilities, here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which one? If you're thinking, you don't have this. If you can't look at the picture and within 1 second say, oh, they're alternate interior. Oh, by the way, Chandler, are they alternate interior? They're not. If you can't look at this picture right now and within 1 second tell me what they are, you got to practice. And that's why I gave you 40 problems tonight for homework. For the people that need practice. Chandler, you got it yet? Okay, Chandler, you need practice on this. You will fail the test if you cannot identify Connor. Which one of the 5? Connor, how long did it take you to figure that out? Couple seconds. If you're looking at the picture and you don't know it, well, 1, let me help you maybe. But 2, we got to get to where that's not part of the difficulty of the problem. The difficulty of the problem now is trying to remember, great, they're same side interior. What does that mean? Okay, you can always check your book of truth because Bailey, the book of truth says what about same side interior angles? And Bailey, what I would recommend is you get a highlighter right now and you highlight the so what part. And do you understand what I mean by the so what? Great, they're same side interior. So what? They are. Who's got a highlighter for Bailey? I'm throwing something at you, Bailey. Ready? Come on, you can catch a pen. No, well, I guess you answered that. I want you to highlight. You're at the theorem that says same side interior angles. Put R supplementary. Highlight that. Highlight R supplementary. Okay, Wes is supplementary. So what? How do we solve this problem?
So if you were to add subtract 30 from 180, you would find out that it's 110.
Okay, he's already jumping to the answer. And I'm not going to say you have to do it the way I do it. I would me personally, I do it the way that Wes just said. I just want to show you the whole shebang, right? The whole shebang is they're supplementary. That means this angle plus this angle equals 180. Hey, they're same side interior angles. That means that this angle plus the unknown angle is 180. How do we solve it? And then that's what he said right from the very start. When you get good at it, that's what you're going to do. Like, oh, just subtract 70 from 180. So we do that, and we get 110. Bailey, you got it highlighted? Okay, that's the so what about same side interior angles. They add up to 180. They're supplementary. If supplementary that means nothing to you, then you need in your notes, add up to 180. Yes? How long will this take you to do on a test? If I just give you numbers instead of variables. Okay, do you have a calculator in front of you? Should you get this wrong on a test? Heck no. I think I gave you 10 of these tonight for homework. And you're like, well, Mr. C, I already know how to do that. Okay, you're not one of the ones I'm talking to, right? I'm talking to the kid, Chandler, Bailey, who looked at this and are like, I don't know what to do. This is your practice. This is getting back on track. Uh-oh, we got an ugly picture. It's way more complicated than it needs to go. Everyone look at the problem. Bailey, which of the 5 is it? Boom. How long did that take you? See what I mean? My claim is if we do a little bit of practice, all of a sudden it starts to click a little bit quicker. Hey, this is the same picture as the other one. They just threw an extra line on there and then another transversal. They're just trying to confuse you. It's just same side interior. So what do I do to get to the answer? Go ahead, Karis. What do I do? So you're doing it like that. I'm going to show you the whole shebang. I'm going to show you that this angle plus this angle equals 180. Yes, the actual math behind it would be subtract that from 180. All right, I get 73. Yes? You feeling confident about same side interior angles? You're like, Mr. C, I already was confident. You didn't need to show me all this stuff. Well, then this class wasn't for you, this part of it. All right. Box number 1. All right, this is a bit more challenging. Chris, you're up. Do you see the 2 angles that I'm talking about? Okay, here are your 5 options. Are they alternate interior? Are they corresponding? Are they vertical? Okay, no, good. Are they same side interior? Well, that only leaves 1 left. What are they? There's only 1 left. Do you see that the 2 angles put together would make this line? And what do we know about 2 angles that make a line? They're supplementary. That means the so what, Bailey? If they're supplementary, that's the so what. Boom. Okay, so this is the same as the previous problem. Doesn't look the same. They're not same side interior. It's the same problem. They just add up to 180. So the process of solving this is the same. That plus that equals 180. Most of you, myself included, would just simply say, oh, subtract 99 from 180. Are we tracking? Are we good? Okay. Whew, finally a different one. Amaya, what do you see? They're what?
Vertical.
How long did that take you from the time that you looked at it to the time your mouth was moving? It was almost simultaneous. My job here is to get you to where you're just looking, okay, they're same side interior. Oh, they're vertical. Oh, they're alternate interior. All right, Bailey, you got your highlighter? What's the so what about vertical angles? Chandler, what's the so what about vertical angles? Boom. That's what you got to have highlighted. If they're vertical angles, they're congruent. That means their measurements are the same. Okay, is there any math involved here, Connor? Is there any math? If they're congruent, is there any math involved here? So what's the answer? Right? Like, give me 12 of these, please, Mr. C, for on test, right? No, I won't. I'll give you 1. It's 52, and you're done. We good on vertical angles? Okay. Yes, tonight for homework, I gave you 12 of these. You don't need to do 12 if you understand the concept. You know, when I hand you the worksheet, I want you to do the ones that you need practice on. Right? Confirm that you're good on this, but you don't have to do all 12 if you don't wish to. Oh, by the way, I'm going to give you all the answers tonight. for homework. It's just a review. Anytime I give you a review, I give you all the answers so that you can check your work, confirm that you're a smarty pants. All right, Danny, you're up. You see the picture? You see the two angles that I'm talking about? It's on the board, not your sheet. You see the two angles? Okay, of the 5, which one do you think it is? Say again? I mean, of these in red, those are your 5 choices. Are they vertical? Yes or no? If they are vertical, they will make an X. Do you see an X there? I know. So, no, they're not vertical. Are they next to each other? So, they're not the last one. Are they on the same side as each other on the inside? So, they're not that one. We're running out of options here. They're either corresponding or they're alternate interior. Which one? How did you figure that out? Okay, good job. Bailey, what's the so what about alternate interior angles? Highlight it. Therefore, the answer is, how big is question mark? Any math involved there? No. Easy softball question, right? Give me 12 of those, please, on a test. No, I won't give you 12. Okay? I think we're making some progress here. Good job, Danny. All right. Jenna, what do you see? There's your 5 options. This is box 2. Are they vertical? Are they next to each other? Are they on the inside next to each other? Okay, you're running out of options here. Are they alternate interior angles? Therefore, there's only one left. If that's what it takes to get you to an answer, then think about what I just asked her. She didn't give me any pause. Yet when I said, well, what are they? She went, I don't know. So just go through them one at a time. You know what vertical looks like. You know what same side interior. Bailey, what's the so what about corresponding angles? So therefore, the answer is, you don't make an A on the test, I will be disappointed. All right, you got this. Yes? Okay. All right, so this is going to be like 1 through 26 tonight for homework. Yes, I lied, it wasn't 12. It's 26 of these. Do you need to do all 26? Some of you, yes. Some of you, no. If this was painful the last 10 minutes, then just do a couple. Confirm you're on it, right? But some of you might want to do all 26 of them. Okay. Let's crank. I said there were 3 flavors. Second flavor. It's the same problem, except instead of numbers, I'm going to give you numbers and variables. It's the same process. Nothing has changed. Wes, which one of the 5? Can everyone see same side interior? Bailey, what's the so what about same side interior? Look in your notes. There's supplementary. That means the 2 added together equals 180. Okay, here's the first one. Here's the second one. What's the so what? That means what mathematically? This plus that equals 180. Well, then just do it. And if you're like, well, yeah, but that's my problem, the algebra. Well, this is technically geometry, not algebra. If this is I know where I'm going to make my mistake. If you write this down, guess what you're telling me? No, if you write this down, guess what you just told me? You know what you're doing. What's left is the actual math. So I'm telling you, you can get show me what you know. Show me that you know what's going on. If you make a silly mistake in the algebra, I will take care of you. But you gotta show me that you know what's going on. Could you do this, Bailey? I mean, like, could you write that statement? Okay, so you're already to a C. What gets you to an A is, well, you gotta do the math. All right. Anything to group together here? On the left side? What can we group together? Wes? Okay, so 26 and 20. So we'll get 46x. And do this a 2-step equation. I'm not going to spend time going over how to solve an equation. Add 4 to both sides. Divide by 46. It turns out it's even 4. Hey, Flavor number 2, it'll literally tell you solve for x. You're just finding out what x is. Did we just figure out how big the angle is? Did we just figure out how big the angle is? Or did we just solve for x? We're just solving for x. I'm not even figuring out how big the angle is. So this is flavor number 2. I don't know if it's chocolate or strawberry, one of the two. We're just solving for x. The cool thing is we just did the hard work on identifying what kind of variables and the so what about them. Amaya, go. I'm counting seconds. 1, 2, 3. She got to 3 seconds, and she probably was only 2 seconds because she didn't know what I was doing. So alternate interior angles, boom. I'm going to say that's nearly instantaneous. Bailey, the so what about alternate interior angles? Okay, that means they're equal to each other. So what's the equation I could set up, Bailey? If they're equal, that literally means they equal each other. What can I write? Don't overthink this. Perfect. Now you got to solve that. It's a 2-step equation, no big deal, right? Add 5 to both sides, divide by 25, and you're done. Hey, we're solving for x, second flavor. Who's intimidated? Right? You shouldn't be, right? Are you going to make a mistake on the algebra? Okay, yeah, occasionally. But writing that alone right there will get you a C. I mean, this is the geometry part. The rest is, well, you got to do some algebra. Show me that you know what's going on. Show me you know the so what about the relationship, and I will take care of you. My belief is that we're going to do enough simple algebra this year that even if you were weak last year, you're going to get better. Chris. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Okay, he said twice, so I'm going to say it was 2 seconds again, right? I know you were. So even with daydreaming, it only took you 4 seconds when that was really 2 seconds. My claim is that once you get comfortable with this, it's not that big of a deal. Bailey, what's the so what about corresponding angles? So what does that mean mathematically? So what am I going to write? Perfect. You haven't gotten one wrong in the last 10 minutes. Are you worried that you're not going to be able to solve it? Is that what the worry is? Okay. It can be a worry, right? Hey, when you have variables on both sides, what should you always do first? Move the smaller one, right? So Cadence, what do we get? Do it in your head. What do we get? Come on, you can do that in your head. I know you can. I need the whole thing from left to right. Seth?
Then you divide each side.
No. Tell me what I should write next.
Oh, or 17x minus
What?
both sides.
Tell me what to write.
36x plus 6 equals
Oh, I'm gonna bang my head. All right, maybe that helps. All right. Say that again. Oh, she's even flipping things around. Wow. I was hoping somebody was going to say 6 equals 2x minus 2. She actually did that, and she flipped it around. Good for you, Matt. Do you need to be able to do this in your head, right? Is that a requirement to pass the class? No. Subtract 17x from both sides. Yes?
Yes.
I know, but you were doing 2 steps. So was someone else that said 4. All right, so what do we do now? Algebraically, what do we do? Add 2 and then divide by, and so x equals 4. Once again, second flavor, we're just solving for x. We're not figuring out how big either one of the angles is. We're just solving for x. Okay? Here's a bunch of them. As many as you want to practice tonight until you feel comfortable that you're getting them right. 27 through 44. You're just going to practice until you feel comfortable. Then you can stop. If you're a lazy student, you're like, he just told me I don't do any homework. Okay, it will come out during the test. For those of you that care about your grades, well then do as many as you feel comfortable. Like, I got this, right? Maybe I'm making a silly algebra mistake, but I got the concept. Last flavor. Now we're actually going to find how big the angle is. Do you see what it says? It says find the value of the, and it says bold, right? You're going to see one of them is going to be dark and one of them is going to be light. They're asking you how big is this angle right here. Well, it's a problem because it says 12x plus 2, so guess what you got to do first? I got to find out what x is. So it's the previous process, find out what x is, and then substitute it back in. Yes? Danny, you with me? Okay. So this is box 4. Box 4. Work along with me. All right, Micah, what's the relationship? Vertical angles. Bailey, what's the so what? Vertical angles. What's the so what? Boom. So what can I write? You got this. You're killing it. You're killing it. Now we just have to solve that equation. Wes?
12x minus 13x. X equals 2 equals x minus 7.
All he did was subtract 12x from both sides, yes? Chandler, finish it up.
Plus 7.
So therefore x equals
9.
x equals 9. Are we done? No, because it says how big is this angle. So the last step would be what, Madison? Toss in 9 for x and do whatever the math says to do. Madison, it says multiply 12 times 9. Anybody? 12 times 9? What's 10 times 9, Karis?
108.
Add 18 to 90 and you get 108. Remember, in geometry, you may have a calculator next to you at all times. I don't care. I'm not teaching you how to multiply 12 times 9. Oh, by the way, the final answer is 110 degrees.
Yes.
110 degrees. 110 degrees. Have we done enough practice? Do you get this basic idea? All right. I gave you from 45 to 54. More practice than you probably need. Last idea is this. How do you know if two lines are parallel? Go for it.
The lines on the markings on the lines.
What if there's no markings? This was the second part of the class.
I need to Google.
We're going to take everything that we just learned and apply it to, are the two lines parallel? So this is box 5. It says, what makes line U parallel to line V? Okay. All you have to do to say that U is parallel to V is do not one of the 5 things. I don't care that they're vertical. I don't care that they make a straight line. It's one of the 3 things. You either say that these two are because they are, no, because they are corresponding, or because they're alternate interior, or because they're the same side interior angles and they're supplementary. So clearly these two are what? Corresponding. So what would this have to be if the two are parallel? It's got to be 119. It's got to be. If this is 119, then the two lines are parallel. Why? Because corresponding angles are congruent. So you're going to see this question. Why is this line parallel to this line? There's only 3 possibilities. They got to be either be corresponding, they got to be alternate interior, they got to be same side interior angles. But the question is going to say what value would make them parallel. It's not going to say why are they parallel, but what value will make them parallel. So what makes it is that this question mark has to be 119 degrees. Are you with me or are you confused? Chris, you with me or are you confused? Okay. So Chris, what value would make these two lines parallel? What? Say it again louder.
Whatever adds up to 180.
Yes. Why 180 and not, why isn't it 108? Well, first off, what's the name of these two angles if they were parallel? 3 options. What would be the name of these two angles if the two lines are parallel? And what do we know about same side interior angles for parallel lines? They're supplementary. So Chris said, well, whatever added up to 108 equals 180. That was a perfect answer. Except for the test, you'll actually have to tell me what that number is. And you have a calculator in front of your face if you remember to bring it. So is this a hard problem? Absolutely not. So whatever adds up to 108, or whatever added to 108 is 180, we'll just solve that one at 72. Yes? 55 through 72. So, once again, big boy, big girl rules, right? You want to fail geometry, you can fail geometry. It's not hard to do, right? Don't study, don't even attempt to do the work, you will fail. However, for those of us that want to pass, it requires some work. So, as always, flip to the last page. Here are all the answers. Use as you see fit. For me, I mean, you identify what you're strong at, what you're weak at. The things that you're weak at, do all of them, right? Get to the answer. Confirm to yourself that you know what's going on. If you literally go home and you're like, well, oh, by the way, I'm not going to grade this. I'm not even going to collect this. Except for e-learners, I will collect it. But for you guys, I'm just going to say, hey, any questions? We're going to go from there. If you literally think that that's freedom to not do your homework, well, then enjoy your F and enjoy summer school. There you go. But I will allow you to make a decision on which of these you need to practice, which of these don't. Test is not tomorrow. Test is Friday. This is what we're reviewing today, and then tomorrow we'll review the triangle external angle theorem and the polygon internal and external angles, the calculations for those. So my claim was, if we did not do this pause, Bailey would have been as clueless as she was at the start of class, and by the end of class, she's telling me every single answer. Now I know 100% that she knows what's going on. Thank you for allowing me to pick on you for the entire class, Bailey. You were also absent, so I wanted to make sure that. All right, we got about 10 or so minutes, right? Micah's question was, well, how much of this do I need to do? So, Micah, if you are confident that you already know the stuff, I would still do 5 from each section, right? Confirm and try to do 5 different ones. Don't do only alternate interior angle ones. Be careful on that very last one or the 2 lines parallel. I left on the thing in there in red vertical angles and 2 supplementary angles that form a line. That doesn't prove that 2 lines are parallel. Doesn't prove that at all. But you can't use those 2 to say that 2 lines are parallel. Hey, they're vertical to each other. And it wouldn't be one of the examples that I'd give you either. For this part of the section, yes. So we still have tomorrow's review, which are triangle external angle theorem, right? The external angle is equal to the sum of the 2 remote. And then we have the polygon ones. Hey, what's the measurement of 1 internal angle of a nonagon? What's the value of 1 internal angle of a 22-sided polygon, right? It's just those 4 formulas, okay? And then those 2 things, plus everything we did today. This is a lot of stuff here, by the way. And then the class on Wednesday, which is inductive reasoning class. You haven't even seen it.
I know. It has the word reasoning in it. It means no benefit.
What's the next number?
10.
That's inductive reasoning.
What?
Is the next number 10?
Uh-huh.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
There's no law that says the next number has to be 10, right? So inductive
law of even counting.
in inductive reasoning, you make an assumption of what the next number is based upon the numbers that you're given.
80.
So using inductive reasoning, we would clearly say the next number is 10. Doesn't mean the number is 10, but if we do follow the pattern, it would be 10. That's basically the class right there.
So I can choose 8.72.
Not using inductive reasoning, right? That would be using reasoning that it could be any number, but not using inductive reasoning. All right, why don't I see pencils moving? Harris, Bailey, get some of this done. Work on it. Yes.
Can I use it for approval?
You good? Okay. You good? Connor, you think you're good? You know what to do? Show me, where's your paper? Get it out. Let's get started. Kids, you feel confident? Bailey, confident? Winston, confident? Guys, confident? Confident, right? This part, sure, but not the paper. Chris, confident? Dan, confident? Don't say yes if you mean no. Like if I say yes, I'll go away. E-learners, any questions? If not, I'm going to stop the video right here. Make sure you do your packet and turn it in. Some of you aren't turning in your work.